Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen, or I suppose just gentlemen, because no ladies come to this freaking channel. This is episode 1 of our MyTeam career mode here in F1 2020. We created the Blinkers Racing team, because that's sort of my franchise branding for any sports game that I make. And so this is going to be us documenting our first race here in Australia. So in the background, obviously you hear Jeff giving us a little intro. But today I decided we're going to put a couple of practice clips in qualifying instead of just the race and edit it. So let me know how you think of it. But here we go, out for the track acclimatization. You see, first lap, got the green, but as a back marker team, you really want to be aiming for the purple. So we're going to take another lap. This is pretty much the only lap you're going to see that's a full lap of Australia in this video. So you see here, turn 3, quite a trouble spot for us throughout the race. You'll come to see it later on. Turn 4 as well, always ran it wide exactly like that. We got through it, but didn't give us trouble that much. Turn 5, just once or twice, had a bit of trouble, but other than that, it was pretty good. And so now you see through this swooping right-hander. I love this corner because it sets up this chicane very nicely. And then as we go through the swooping left hand on exit here into turn 11, I believe it is, the 11-12 chicane, always difficult for me. It's very difficult for me to not run wide in turn 12, and you'll come to see it in qualifying 1 towards the end of it. When we try to make that final run, we actually ran it wide and almost wrecked. So it's a bit of a trouble spot there. Obviously, we had a couple of corners where we kept running it wide, and it was overall a clean race. Right here, turn 15, I never really ran it wide, but for some reason I always lost so much time, and I guess the AI are just better under braking there. But here we go, coming to the line down the front stretch, and it's a purple lap there for the track acclimatization. As you're going to see here, we're going to just pull into the pits just to give you a nice little cutscene. And it's I wish that stupid little engage pit limiter would move out of the way, but nothing I could do about it. And so now we move on to the tire test. Tire test is always at least easy for me to keep it in the purple, but the problem is whether or not I can do it within the time that's given. So you see here, lost so much time in those last 3 corners, almost 2 tenths. It's probably going to hop up to 3 tenths here. Yep, didn't get a good exit there, so pretty much 3.5 tenths we just lost in those 3 corners alone. So you'll see for the test it's actually pretty difficult. So we're going to go on to the second lap here, looking to get it done, trying to get purple just to help out the team, because obviously as a back marker team you really want to get much better with your resource points, and you want to maximize what you can get to get up to the front as quick as possible. But kind of a full lap, I guess. You see, there's the Ferrari up there fighting with the Mercedes. I think it's Vettel. So we were picking up the tow right there, trying to get some time improved. You see, we're up 4 tenths right now, almost 5. Yep, 5, probably 6. Yep. And so we're just really trying to keep up the pace here and keep it working, because we know how much time we're going to lose in these last 3 corners, and you'll come to see it right now. It's going to go from almost 9 tenths. It's 8.5 tenths up, and it's probably going to drop down to about 3. Yep, from 8 to 6. It's going to keep on going. Yep, bad exit there, down to almost 3, like I said. 4 tenths we lost. And so you can see those final corners not doing well for us, but we got through the tire test. As now we go to the fuel. Fuel's always a bit harder to manage just because it's so freaking difficult to just lift and coast and also get the time that you need. So you see there, missed it by quite a large margin. But now as we come to the end of it, we're only going to get up to the green. Didn't even get there just because we went too slow right at the end. And right here is where we're going to get it. as we're going to come through these last 3 corners. We just barely built enough time up to keep ourselves going. You see, look at how the delta just drops way closer to 0. You see right there, 3/10 just in that corner that we lost. Got a bit of oversteer there, snapped it. We caught it, fortunately, but just barely going to make it through on the straight line speed. We did pick the Renault engine, so it's not the greatest engine, but it was more durable than Honda, and it obviously gave us not a lot of money. We didn't spend a lot of money, which meant we could use that money in other places. So we went with the Renault just for that. But you see here in the race strategy test, we're going to fail the first 2 laps because we didn't get through it quick enough. We ran it wide there. But you'll see, and we'll skip to the last lap here, I think. Just trying to get purple. That's our teammate Giuliano Alesi. One of the only times you're going to see him throughout this race weekend. But signed him. He had the best racecraft, I think, out of all of them. Overall had the best stats. We were looking to get a contract that was under 1.5 million. And we did that with Giuliano. He was the best of the bunch. So it was kind of a no-brainer to pick him up. So we're hoping he can pick up points for us pretty soon. Because you'll come to see just how difficult it is to get it in this car. So coming to the line. Just about to get that purple. Still losing time. And that's sort of the theme of the weekend. Losing a lot of time on that last little sector, but we got the purple, and now we've got some phenomenal data to get us a strategy that works, and you'll see it later in the race how well it worked. So now we're just coming into the pit road, and it's actually just gonna be this little cutscene as we go in, and they pull the car into the garage. So you see there the team pulling the car into the garage, and right after this we're going to skip ahead, and I'm going to show the results, and it's just going to be a little bit short, but we ended up finishing P11 in practice, but obviously the position you finish in practice doesn't really show much. You're going to see, we're going to show the data that we got. Obviously you can see the lap time not very consistent at the moment, but tire life went well. We actually wore less than we should have and didn't burn as much fuel as they thought we would. You see, we finished P11 in practice, and now as we move on to Q1, first qualifying session of the season, to test how well we really are. And there you get a glimpse into the gorgeous pink Boinkers Racing Team garage. And here we go as we set out onto the track to set our first lap. Normally I like to set an early lap and then wait until later, because that's really when the cars start getting quicker and start bumping us out. So you could see us do that. Nice short drive, since we're actually obviously a new team, so we have the furthest pit box down pit lane, which doesn't give us an advantage often, but it's a shorter drive onto the track, which helps out, I guess. So you see here, coming to the end of the first lap, through the chicane here, gave it nice early braking, came out just wide, just a bit wide. You saw it on the grass, but we were able to keep it going nice and well. As we come through this final sector here, it's, like I said, a very difficult sector to get right. But you see Daniel Ricciardo setting the fastest lap, and we're going to try to match up with that. It was a 1:22.8, and didn't get a great exit on the final corner there. You saw how much we had to lift. We're going to come across the line with a 1:23.6, which did not do us any favors. Lewis Hamilton there, almost an entire second ahead of us. But obviously, the Mercedes are in much better shape than we are. So now we catch up to Grosjean. This is towards the end of Q1, and you see how freaking wide we get in that corner. Like I said, it's absolutely difficult to get through. So we ended up P16, just barely squeezed in to Q2, and this is our run towards the end of Q2. Obviously, you see the rain coming down. The tires did not want to grip it. We kind of messed up the strategy there. So here we go now. Nice little cut scene. As you hear Crofty in the background here presenting the beginning of the race. I guess we got Jesus walking on water here. Didn't know he was Australian or resurrected, but there you go. So you see here as we go through the driver lineup, you heard Crofty just a minute ago say that we are the first owner-driver tandem in over 40 years. So a lot running on our shoulders here as we try to follow the footsteps of Bruce McLaren and Sir Jackie Stewart. But it's not Jackie Stewart. I totally messed that up. I'm sorry. It's an Australian. But you see there we're starting P16 with Giuliano Alessi, our teammate, at 18th. The reason we didn't set a time in Q2 was because it was raining, and the forecast said it would dry up towards the end. So as you saw, we didn't have grip because it didn't dry up enough, so we never set the time. So you'll see here, the forecast says it's supposed to rain the entire race, but Jeff was putting us on the dry tire, so you can see me looking around trying to get a view of what tires the other guys are putting on. And so towards the end, I just kind of said, screw it, and let's get on with it. And you see here, as we get the 5 red lights, and 5 red louds, and we're off, bitches. It's time for the Australian Grand Prix, as we didn't get the greatest start, but not a bad one as we start to catch up towards the later end. You see Kimi Räikkönen with an absolute dive bomb. He saw a little winglet from there. I think it might have been Kimi's, but we'll see pretty soon. Not a bad start. Gained 1 spot, but we're taking it kind of easy. Don't want to get caught up anything early. Stroll's now going to send it as well. The AI are definitely going with some dive bombs here at the start. Now you see there, we're 3 wide through turn 4. Tried to give enough room, and we kind of lost it towards the end, but we held the move around the outside, and we're into P13. You'll see this car kind of carved people up towards the middle of the race, and you'll come to see. So we kind of just following through, making sure that we get through everywhere cleanly. Sent it just a little bit. We had a little peak, but we didn't want to completely send it on the first lap because there's still too much race to go to just absolutely dive bomb like that. You see here, we're going to gain a bunch of time through turn 11 and 12. Got a better exit, and we're going to put it up into overtake to try to catch up to Ocon. But you see Stroll fighting up there with Lando Norris, and we're just going to use this to our advantage. You see Raikkonen up there slowing everybody up. That little battle allowed us to get up to Ocon because he had to avoid the 2 guys bumping around each other. Kvyat around the outside, didn't really see him, and he tries to send it around the outside. He gave us a little bump. We're going to leave him enough space. You see Kimi heading in, and I think that might have been his winglet because he's going in. And you see here, I pull up the weather report because I thought that Kimi was going in to get some intermediates. But it turns out he was just fixing his wing after sending the absolute dive bomb up in the first corner. So you see up to P12 now with some absolutely amazing fresh tires. We skipped to lap 4. We finally caught back up to Ocon. So we had a little look around the outside. Didn't get it. So we had a faster exit onto the second DRS straight. And we're going to put it around the outside. But can we brake hard enough? Nope. We gave him just a little bit too much respect there. And he's going to hold the position nice and cleanly. And we're just going to follow suit here for just a little bit. You could see how the dirty air affected us. We had to run it up wide. Lap 5 now in the exact same corner. Are we going to put it around the outside this time? Went later on the brakes, went a bit bolder to get on the throttle. And we're going to hold it side by side, still going through. We're just going to try to give him a little squeeze. Gave it to him. You saw a little bit of contact as I threw my hand up in the air, but we finally got the move done nice and clean. So on to lap 7 now. Trying to catch up to Lando. And you see the rain's kind of affecting our grip a little bit. But on to lap 8. You see the pit windows open. We're coming in at the end of this lap. And we're just going to see who's coming in and who's not as we skip onto the back stretch now. But you can see how much you'll see how much we catch up to Lando Norris in this corner, as we kind of cut both corners a little bit, but we got away with it. Didn't gain too much time. You see, we'll through the overtake button, as catching right up to Lando Norris, right up onto the back of him. But obviously, we know that we're coming in. It's just whether or not he is. And you see here now, we're coming in, so we're going to see if the undercut works on Lando to get P10 in this race. But you'll come to see how busy this pit road is. You got 4 cars in right now. You got the Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, and the McLaren, I think. Yep, you see them all packing up right now. Renault's coming in soon. You see Williams, but here we go. The pink Rangers giving us a pretty decent stop. 2.4 is not bad by any stretch of the word. But we're going to keep on going now as we get the exit. So now the question is whether or not this undercut's going to work as we skip up to the end of lap 9. We're almost entirely expecting Lando to have come in now. I don't think he's quite reached it. But yep, there goes Giuliano into the pits. And we're easily going to catch up. Look at just how close we are already. There you get the Williams in. Carlos Sainz, Lando's teammate up there. But if you look on the right-hand side of that track screen, Lando's just now coming out of pit road. And so will we beat him? And we easily beat him. So the pit strategy there by Jeff worked. And that's why you try to get purple in the race strategy program, because it'll help you just like this. And so now we skip ahead, as now we're just trying to track down Carlos Sainz to get that final spot. I think there's still 1 or 2 guys that haven't quite pit yet, so we'll come to see it. You heard me smack the wall there. I got super lucky not to lose a winglet. I got a bit lazy there, a bit clumsy, and we just smacked it. And then you hear Jeff there warning us. Lewis Hamilton getting the fastest lap by 3 seconds over my best. But at the end of this lap, we'll improve it just a bit. You see another guy coming in. I believe that's a Ferrari or an Alfa Romeo coming down. But kind of cut this corner a bit tight and went a bit wide. But it's alright. We lay the power down into overtake mode. You see Lance Stroll coming out. And there he is. Not quite as beaten by as we had Lando, but we're going to pull it around the outside, and we're going to get that move done for P9. P9 after starting in 16th. Only 11 laps in. Lewis setting another fast lap, and he's kind of just going off into the distance. Just 1.5 seconds faster than us around that. So obviously we already know the McLaren or the Mercedes are in a different league, but that's just going to show it even more. You see here getting an exit onto that front stretch. Lance Stroll trying to pressure us, but we got a better exit than him, and we're knocking it up into overtake just to make sure that there's no problem now. As we skip to lap 13, you can see we're catching Carlos Sainz nice and quickly. We brought Lance Stroll along with us, so now it's going to be a 3-way battle for P8. But you'll come to see now just how well our car actually was doing in the rain. I had actually been excited when I saw the forecast during practice, saw that the whole race was going to be in rain. Rain during our league race is kind of my specialty, as you've seen in the past videos, so I was excited for that. Obviously, we didn't get the inters on, but it still came out to show just how decent I am in the rain. And you see here, just going to close up super late under braking. Ran it in a bit deep, so Lance Stroll's going to come on up. But we're closing it on Carlos Sainz, so now the question is, how will we make the move, or will we even make the move? We ran it super wide, had to cut through the grass, and that's going to put Lance Stroll right up our ass. And we're going to keep on going. Now our job is just to defend so that we can attack Carlos Sainz again, but Sainz, you can see Sainz getting away. As we skip ahead again, we caught up this time. Not close enough to get in through turn 1. As you hear Jeff telling us, it's time. It's possibly time to come on in for the inters. He gave us the choice, and I thought the grip was decent enough that we would stay on the mediums as the rain wasn't coming down, but you saw it just absolutely overdrive the corner. Had so much oversteer coming out of there, and we got caution coming up, and Sebastian Vettel's out of the race. The Ferrari's retired in the first race. You see him off there to the right side. That's going to promote us into P8. I came into this race not expecting any points, but we've already gained 8 positions. And we're not even done yet. Don't you worry, boys. We're not even done yet. We're still going to keep on carving. As you see, we got a decent run. Kind of cut that corner a little bit, but no problem. With the stewards, so we're going to knock it up and overtake and try to get up there to Carlos. Nice and deep under braking, but still a bit too far. We're reeling in. Got a little snap of oversteer again. So as I said, turn 3 was going to be a problem for us, and now you can see how much it was really affecting us through that race. The rain's starting to slow down just a little bit, but you see, we're just going to get right on up to Carlos. Lap 16 we're on now, heading into 17. As we're going to knock it up and overtake just to get up to him. Still way too far behind. I love a good dive bomb when I can do it, but not from that far behind. Jesus. And you see Jeff telling us, just warning us, the tires are done pretty much. We're going to start losing grip pretty soon. And Carlos is actually going to dive it up pit road, so he's going to try to get the undercut on us. And now it's just going to be up to us whether or not we can bring it in. As you see, the pit window is open for us. We're coming in this lap with a nice graphic on the screen. We're coming in this lap, so now the question is, will we overcut Carlos, or is he going to get the better tires and the better strategy here to beat us out from the McLaren box? As we're still dragging along Lance Stroll and Lando Norris, but the question is, we're not really worried about these guys behind us. We know we're faster than them, just how easily we've been able to defend. So now we're coming up down pit road. Lance Stroll, I believe, is going to stay out another lap. And yes, he does. But Lando, Carlos's teammate's going to come down. As you see, the Red Bull and the Renault's already way ahead of us. You see Lando's team setting up. And here we go, the Pink Rangers. Can they get us another good stop? It's up to the Pink Rangers now to get us ahead of Carlos. And we're going to come out 2.9. Slower than the first one. Still not bad. But you see there, Carlos is coming up onto the straightaway. We had a bad exit out of the pit road. But we're just barely going to outbrake him. And we're up into effectively P7. So we had a snap of oversteer just getting onto the slick track, the wet track. But we've just gotten... The Pink Rangers have done it for us again. And you see here we had a horrible exit out of turn 4. Got up into turn 5. Carlos Sainz now is putting the pressure on us as we made a mistake. We got Giuliano ahead of us, but he's a bit too far for us to see him on screen. And so obviously you see Carlos is right there behind us, putting the pressure on us. We're trying to brake as late as possible. And one of the key factors here, when you have a wet track, the reason that I'm good in the rain is that when you have a wet track, you have to respect the track. You can't push the car to its limits in the rain. You got to respect the track, and you got to brake early to get a better exit, because with the low grip that you've got on a wet track, braking late's just going to cause you to run it in deep like I just did right there. So my philosophy normally is I'm trying to brake super early to get a good run. Again, braked way too freaking late, and Carlos now is going to take advantage of that, and he's going to run it right around the outside. We had to leave him room, and he's going to get the move done on us, but we've got the overtake button to get it through. As you see, we're up into P9. I don't think Stroll is pitted yet, but we're taking it around the outside, but we're just going to hold off for now. As you see, we're going to get another run, pushing it up into overtake. We don't have rich fuel, and that engine for the McLarens is just faster than ours. Just a hair faster. You see another bad exit out of turn 3, but Carlos Sainz is just killing it right now, as the dirty air is going to cause us to go a bit wide, and now Lando is going to be right up on there. So the dirty air here, you can see it affects us, and it gives us a lot of understeer, so it's kind of difficult to keep following very closely through the high-speed corners, but we're trying to get it done. So we move on to lap 19. You see Lance Stroll, actually his overcut helped him get ahead of us theoretically, but Carlos Sainz is going to take it around the outside, and we're going to make a bold move and follow through. That was probably our best chance to keep up with Sainz, and we took a bold move, and we're still up into P8, fighting for P7 now. As you see, we're coming on to the end of the lap here, at the end of lap 21. Just a couple laps left to go, just about 7. Actually, 8 laps to go. It'll be at the start-finish line, but got a snap of oversteer again, and just not going to get the exit we needed to catch up to Carlos. So oversteer, you see the brake bias right there at 56%, so we were trying to make sure that we could brake later than we wanted to, and you'll see me at some point in the race, and oh my god, what a horrible exit. We caught so much of the AstroTurf there that we just nearly lost it into the wall. Lance Stroll right up on us, but he's not going to be able to make a move on us as we defend him quite effectively. You'll see our defense is out, and Max Verstappen's out of the session too. Now that's putting us straight up into P8 or P7, and now we're fighting for P6 for this race. You saw him pulled off to the edge. I was praying for a safety car because we might have had a chance to get a little bit better, but he was in a safe enough spot that there was no need for it. As you see now, we've caught right back up to Carlos Sainz. So you see our car, we know we're faster. The only problem is whether or not we can get a good run, especially out of this last corner. This last corner was the bane of our existence to try and get a good run onto the DRS straight, but we're going to try and get it done here. You see us modulating the throttle just well enough to at least get close. I don't think we're going to get the move over here, but we're getting close. We're not even going to take a peek. Had a stomp on the brakes. We actually had a rear wheel lockup because of how hard we were on the brakes, trying to make sure we didn't hit him. This time we get a good run out of turn 2, and are we going to dive it up the inside? Had a little look, but nope, we're just going to bluff for now and wait another lap to get even closer. At this point, there's 6 laps left in the race. You see us, dirty air just barely affecting us enough to where he could get it. 5 laps to go. As you see here, down into turn 3, had another peak, but we still can't quite get the move done. Just a little tiny bit of oversteer to mess up the run. Cut it a bit short through turn 4, but on to the end of lap 25, and it's really kind of, the pressure's on him now. We're right up on him. Like I said, we know we're faster, but it's just, can we get the move done? Nice early braking to get the better run out of turn 12. And you see, we're going to take all the curbing we can. Overtake mode, rich fuel, and DRS. We're going to make it around the outside, and we're going to outbrake him before we even get to the corner. That's the move done. Up into P6, which is absolutely monumental for this team. P6 normally reserved for the freaking Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. And sometimes you see like Daniel Ricciardo up there in P4. If the midfield cars can get a good run, but P6 for a brand new team is absolutely incredible spot for us to be in right now. So now the question is, with 4 laps to go, how well are we going to be able to defend the 2 McLarens and Racing Points right there behind us? As you see, we cut to the last lap. Lewis Hamilton's going to win the race, and I told you we were faster because we just, in 3 laps or 5 laps, we opened up an 8-second gap. So we knew we were quick. Absolutely nobody to challenge us for P6 tonight. And as we come out of those final 2 corners, ran it in a bit deep, so didn't get the best little corner, or the best run out of the final lap, but it doesn't matter because we don't have to defend. And you see us taking that victory wave as we finish in P6. What a start for the Boinkers Racing team. What a start indeed for that race. And you see we even got driver of the day. We moved up 10 freaking spots during that race. And we've improved quite a bit. Toto Wolff right there looking at the horrible character models that they have in this game. But to be fair, I'd rather have horrible character models and great racing than shitty racing and great character models. You see Lewis Hamilton coming out of the box there, or out of his car, celebrating his first win of the season, his first of many for sure, as he tries to tie Michael Schumacher with 7 championships this season. As you see, there we go into the standings, P6. Daniel Ricciardo in P4, another great start, another good race for him. Giuliano Alesi finishing in P13. Not a bad race for him either, considering the car that he's in, which shows promise for us. But now you see here, through the final interview, thank you guys for watching. Tell your friends about my channel. Join us next time as we set up for Bahrain, hoping that the Boinker Racing team can even improve on P6. We were lucky to get it, but now we got to keep the consistency going. See you next time.